So, once again, my name is Ellen, and I'm not necessarily into labels or titles, but yogi is a pretty good thing.
Oh yeah.
And I work, just to give a little bit more context, I work with the Life is Good Playmakers. We're the sort of nonprofit side of the Life is Good company, and we partner with child care professionals that work with children impacted by poverty, violence, and illness to create safe and loving and joyful environments in their settings, and to nurture really loving and healing relationships with kids through playfulness. And while we wouldn't necessarily call ourselves like a mindfulness education organization, mindfulness is really at the core of everything that we do. Because on the child care professional side, right before we do anything with a child, we gotta be there with them, right, and be able to sort of tune into where they're at. And from the child's perspective, like children who've experienced adversity, being in the moment is one of the hardest things to do, because sometimes being in the moment kind of sucks, and it's really hard, and they're sort of overwhelmed by what's happened in the past and anxious about what's happening in the future. So a huge part of our work is sort of helping kids really be able to engage in the present moment. And so I think what excites me most about mindfulness in education is how it sort of offers a way of teaching what I think are some of the most foundational kind of skills of all skills, right? Like how to focus and be in the present moment and calm. And I know that, I've certainly done it, and, educators in the film do it in terms of like expecting kids to just be able to get on task and focus and calm down, but we don't actually teach how to do that, and in fact, it's funny, when I was reflecting with James earlier, like we often give the same instructions to a 5-year-old as we do an 18-year-old, which is focus, calm down. And it's like, why don't we break that down like we do photosynthesis or any of the other things that we teach in school, And I heard this kind of amazing speaker, Sorio Farrell, and he talked about, like, what if you were to tell a high school student without any background, integrate, without knowing anything else, integrate, and your test is right now, and if you don't pass, like, you're out to the principal's office, And that can be really how it feels for kids who have no idea how to kind of tap into that. And so I think that, mindfulness practices and exercises really offer a way to teach how to kind of tune into the present moment and to calm and to focus. And it's really empowering. I mean, if you heard Leslie say, like, because she kind of taps into the calm and the chaos, and she says, I get to hear the sounds and be in the quiet and experience that. And it really excites me, the possibilities, and in some ways the simplicity too. I think my biggest rubs on the film are, like, what happened to the 5 kids that were pulled out. I kind of question the level of just the level of choice and honoring kind of different ways of participating in a mindfulness practice, and how it appeared, at least in the film. And so I wonder, I wish that I totally get that individual or small group support, like, is needed for some kids, but how they kind of got reintegrated in, I was left kind of wondering about. And then this kind of a little bit of a negative frame of, like, mindfulness is a way of being comfortable when you're not entertained. That frame that was sort of used initially, as opposed to, like a way of learning how to focus or, calm down or choose the response that you want to have. And we hear, like, a lot of the students in the film talk about wanting to learn those things, wanting to be able to focus, or wanting to be able to, not regret their actions that they take and really choose the response that they want, which is all part of mindfulness. And we also know that, children who've experienced adversity, which, like, just brief kind of research into San Francisco public schools, similar to Boston, where a huge percentage receive subsidized or free lunches, are coming from kind of low-income areas. You saw Gerard's father with the tears, which are often indicators of people significant in their life that they've lost. Omar's brother that was shot. And the inability to be in the present moment goes far beyond, I think, just wanting to be entertained all the time. And so we really need to also bring mindfulness ourselves into the environments in which we're teaching and the expectations that we have for kids in practicing mindfulness and how we move them along that path. So those are some of my responses.